This is your Dynamite main event. It is set for one fall, and it is for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, wrestling out of Torreon, Mexico, weighing 193 pounds, Bandido!
Not only do we have Bobby Cruz inside the ring, we are joined here at the desk by Ring of Honor play-by-play commentator Ian Riccaboni. Ian, welcome for this World Championship match.
Thank you so much, Excalibur Taz. It's my pleasure to be here. The former champion Bandido did not lose the title on his initial reign. However, he did in the unification match.
The epitome of sports entertainment.
His opponent, wrestling out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 220 pounds, he is the Ring of Honor World Champion, the Ocho, Chris Jericho.
As you mentioned, Bandido forced to vacate the Ring of Honor World Championship, but as Chris Jericho referenced earlier, Bandido never got his rematch for the title, so Jericho, the Ring of Honor World Champion, has given it to him here tonight.
And that's an admirable thing to do. It is honorable. But what we saw last week when he captured that championship was anything but.
Chris Jericho using the low blow on Claudio Castagnoli to steal the Ring of Honor World Championship last week at Dynamite Grand Slam.
You know, Ian, I understand that, Chris Jericho did not bring any honor the way he won the Ring of Honor World title. I get that. I understand that. You being a purist and being the voice of Ring of Honor, I'm sure that upsets you. But it's tough to argue, my friend. That man, Chris Jericho, is the biggest star in the history ever of Ring of Honor. Not just champions, probably Ring of Honor wrestlers. Maybe it's an overstatement, maybe not.
Taz, I'd have to agree with you, and that includes names like Bryan Danielson, like Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal,
Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, you could.
Adam Cole, the only three-time champion. The list goes on and on.
But right now, Bandido, a man who has never lost a Ring of Honor World Championship match in this city of Philadelphia. Will it be the lucky charm?
That's what it's about right there, that gorgeous Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. Listen, Bandido, okay, he obviously given up a lot of experience to Chris Jericho. Everybody Jericho competes against is giving up experience. But I'll tell you, Bandido's a fourth-generation wrestler. This wrestling's in this guy's blood, man. And there's the handshake.
The Code of Honor, which Jericho...
absolutely making a mockery of it, Excalibur. And Bandido connects with the right. And to me, Excalibur, we talked about it before we went on the air. This is almost a mirror image of where Chris Jericho was early in his career. Both men, were afforded easier paths, guaranteed paths. Both went on to try and become bigger stars, and they certainly did that.
Yeah, they took the hard road, and it actually worked out for them. Chris Jericho, leaving his native Canada, going to Mexico. He didn't speak the language, but he became a standout star in Mexico City. I mean, and Bandido was...
Excalibur, as you were saying, Bandido undefeated for Ring of Honor titles opportunities in Philadelphia, as you said earlier, and that's a big note, I think, to hit again.
That's a huge plus, and the tope drives Jericho to the barricade.
And Bandido can fly. We saw him at All In, Excalibur.
Yeah.
That's where you and I first met.
Oh, yeah, he's going to soar.
Whoa!
Going over the top and wipes out Jericho.
That was wild right there, man. Good stuff by Bandido.
Bandido, his road into wrestling was through Ultimo Guerrero.
And now Bandido in control. This Ring of Honor World Championship main event continues in picture-in-picture.
Well, Bandido has the champion kind of reeling and rocking a little bit right now. Got to keep that going.
Bandido, the tornado, and now into the pinning predicament. 2-0.
Yeah, I don't know how many rotations that was. That was impressive.
And Ian, you referenced Ultimo Guerrero, a man that Chris Jericho knows extremely well.
Absolutely. Jericho and Bandido share some common enemies, and it all really ties together with Negro Casas. a legend that Jericho has faced on 30 occasions. Ultimo Guerrero, nearly 100. And the enemy is my friend. And I think that's where Jericho has the leg up. He knows the opponents, the trainers of Bandido, maybe more than Bandido does.
Well, I think that's a good point, Ian. I think with Jericho, he's competed against so many men for so many generations. It's tough to topple him because his game planning, I've competed with Jericho many times in my career. It's not an easy task.
And Bandido is somebody that has had a meteoric ascent, not just in Mexico, but in the United States on the independent scene. He's not only a former Ring of Honor World Champion, a former Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion, a winner of the Battle of Los Angeles tournament. There are very few men that can claim that honor. Bandido is one of the best in the world today.
Bolo.
And as much as,
right,
as much as it pains me to say this, there's very few men that have as many world championships as Chris Jericho.
Now, that Ocho, as he is so fond of saying, he's really, basically done it all in his career.
Jericho forearm shots across the head as he traps those arms.
Bandido in some trouble here as Chris Jericho using his size advantage to batter the former Ring of Honor World Champion Bandido.
And I think Bandido might be stuck right now. He hit the first move, the first series of big moves. I don't think he expected Chris Jericho to counter and quickly get the advantage as quick as he did.
And Taz, I think Jericho dictating the pace on the younger, speedier challenger.
Absolutely, that's what experience can do. But you can see Bandido still has a lot of fight left in him. Hard shots, another one.
Bandido with the upper hand, but Chris Jericho, sent across, a hammer throw into the corner. And
here's the strength. Bandido, pound for pound, one of the strongest men in professional wrestling.
One hand by Bandido. He covers.
2.
No. Our main event continues. Bandido challenging the Ocho, Chris Jericho, for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And what an incredible display of strength we just saw from Bandido. And there are members of the United Kingdom's Royal Navy. They're on a 15-month deployment. They were on shore leave. They came down from New York City to be here tonight for Dynamite. We welcome them as Bandido now the Bipaso. And Jericho goes over the top. He hung on, but nearly slipped.
Oh, now going to the top. What a match they've come to see. What a great night of Dynamite they've come to see.
Oh, the thrust kick caught Jericho.
Yeah, I think Chris rushed out a little bit, and that's why he got caught by Bandido in the gut with that kick.
Bandido now in control of the champion.
Oh, look at the strength.
Yeah, we talked about the strength during the pitcher-in-pitcher break. This guy's a strong cat for sure.
Pound for pound, one of the strongest in professional wrestling. Amazing.
Once, doce, 14.
Well, he's got the Ocho in the air, but it's doubled up Ocho. I don't know the number. Wow.
Well, now we're at 25.
I don't know they can count this high in Philadelphia.
Hey.
Sorry, Ian.
Look at this.
Look at
the
unreal display of strength by Bandido.
People are standing up going nuts. The blood's rushing to Jericho's head, though, man.
I haven't seen a crowd like this in Philly since Lynch closed out the World Series. We are over a minute.
This is unreal. Oh, finally.
That's exhausting for him, though.
Taz, those delayed vertical suplexes, all the blood, you can see how red the upper chest, the head of Jericho is, but then the blood goes rushing back out to the extremities. It's pins and needles throughout your body.
Exactly. You can see Jericho close his eyes open. He's trying to get his head about him here.
And the crowd rallying behind Bandido right now. There's so much to love about this man, the former Ring of Honor World Champion. He's got the strength at Taz. Now he's going to show you he can fly.
Yeah, I know that, but man, I think he should have went for a cover right there, right after that super delayed vertical suplex.
Bandido, inspired by Eddie Guerrero, the near leg hooked, and
Wow, he hit that frog splash. Tell you what, the late great Eddie Guerrero would be proud of that, man. That was awesome.
Bandido getting the rematch he deserves. He was a half second, maybe even less, from regaining the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Look at the angle he had to take there because Jericho was not in the middle of the ring. He changed directions in the air, did Bandido.
Bandido, oh goodness. And Taz, I think you're right. One thing that Bandido gives up to Jericho is that experience edge. He could have maybe stayed on top of him just a little bit more there.
Got to stand too, guys. Chris Jericho's body is battle tested. He's hardened. He's had so many matches for so many decades. There's not much you could do to hurt him.
And Taz, Chris Jericho, somebody a little more likely than Bandido to take shortcuts to turn this into a real scrap.
Well, Chris just wants to win. He don't care how he does it. He don't care what anybody thinks about it. Again, he don't care about the honor of the Ring of Honor title or history or tradition.
Certainly exemplified in the manner that he won the title 1 week ago, Ian.
Absolutely, and in that disdain for the Code of Honor, he's going to try and win at all costs, as Taz said. Now we are in the danger zone up on the top rope here. Front face lock from Jericho.
Yeah, this is dangerous, guys.
The way Bandido.
And it looks like he's got the advantage.
Oof. Bandido turns the tables on Chris Jericho. Gets his footing on the middle rope. A code breaker!
Great job by Jericho. Hence why this is his 8th World Championship.
Cover. And Bandido able to kick out.
And think about that. Only Sting, who has 14 world titles, reigns on the AEW roster, has more than Chris Jericho. 14 world titles for Sting. Jericho's in 8. You know how hard that is, guys? 8-time world champ. That is no joke.
Chris Jericho occupying rarefied air in the world of professional wrestling, but Bandido, with a victory here tonight, could etch his name in stone.
Very few multi-time Ring of Honor world champions. Bandido knows what's at stake in the birthplace of Ring of Honor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Now right down the road from here at the Murphy Rec Center, as Bandido clutching on to first the top rope, now the middle rope. The back elbow blocked. Jericho battering the challenger, Bandido. Bandido fighting his way out of it. Now both men precariously situated on the ring. Oh, just a right hand to the nose. And Bandido, the Hurricane Jericho goes to the outside. Our main event continues in picture.
Chris Jericho landing on his tailbone really hard there, guys.
Taz, there's a huge difference between landing on your back, your shoulders, and your tailbone.
Changes the game, my friend. Your whole lower body gets numb. Your legs just feel like cement was injected in them. It's a hassle, man, to deal with.
But Ian, that move took a lot out of Bandido as well.
It absolutely did, and to me it shows a sign of desperation, which you don't see often from Bandido. He's very calm for his experience level, usually fights with a level head. It shows to me he was looking for something, anything, to get out of that exchange on the apron.
You're right, Ian, but he has an opportunity here to capture the Ring of Honor World title. You got to be desperate, right?
It looks like
some blood there,
the
right?
blood, I think, because Chris Jericho
punched him in the face.
Close fist right hand to the nose of Bandido.
Definitely, it's rare that you see a cat with a mask on seeing that blood coming out.
And so, and this is a Ring of Honor World Championship match. It is a 20 count on the outside, as Aubrey Edwards giving both competitors the count, but they both return to the ring. And Ian, that mask of Bandido is so unique because it drapes down over his mouth and nose, so already potentially some breathing issues, and then possibly with a broken nose underneath.
It's got to be tough for Bandido right now. He relies so much on his air, his conditioning, and if that septum is deviated, he's going to be in big trouble. That air is going to be blocked as he tries to take in oxygen. Ooh.
And Jericho sees that bloody mask. He knows there's blood under there. I wouldn't be shocked if Chris goes back after that face.
Bandido, the overhand chop. Jericho, Bandido teeing off on one another. And champion and challenger exchanging.
And you can see the blood vessels just popping on the chest of champion and challenger, the purpling.
And Jericho really was the first to flinch there, but Bandido now taking a moment to collect himself, Taz.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And Jericho knows how to shift into other gears, but you're dealing with a guy who's younger, who's probably stronger, and who's bringing it, and he's desperate right now. But look at Chris. Wow.
Chris Jericho firing up, absorbing all those shots from Bandido. And Bandido finally taken off his feet. Not often you see a competitor taken down by a chop, Ian.
Yeah, that shows the stakes of the match. Bandido now has spaghetti legs, and that's saying something. He has some of the strongest legs in pro wrestling. We saw the display earlier. I'm wondering if that vertical suplex for over a minute really did some damage to Bandido also.
I think that's a good observation. You might be right about that, Ian. Rick Boney, if that is your real name. Ian.
The Ring of Honor World Championship on the line. Bandido, the 34th Ring of Honor World Champion, challenging the 37th Ring of Honor World Champion, Chris Jericho.
And look at the eyes of Bandido. The blood on the mask tells a story. The eyes are focused, fixated on becoming the 38th Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah, got popped in the nose by Jericho for sure. That's where that blood, and again, like I told you during that picture break, Jericho's going to zone after that blood on that mask. Who knows what the face under that mask looks like of Bandido.
Wait, Chris Jericho gets cut off by Bandido. Sunset flip powerbomb.
Two. Wow.
Super close right there. Almost crowning a brand new Ring of Honor World Champ.
And Bandido, that right hand, it may have broken his nose. And if the nose breaks, Taz, not only does it affect the breathing, but the eyes swell up as well.
Everything swells up. And like I said, we don't know what's going on under that mask. But I know this much. Jericho almost lost the title right there, right here in Philadelphia. That'd be apropos for Ring of Honor.
Jericho, the line. Salt on target. Bandido got crushed. 1, 2, no.
Wow. We're getting into razor-thin margins here on these counts from Aubrey Edwards, who's in perfect position every time.
And you see the poise of Chris Jericho, not rushing. He's picking his spots. Well-placed knee again to the face.
And those are dirty knees by Jericho as Bandido drops almost to, I think he was about to drop to his stomach, but Jericho maintains control. Bandido floats behind. And now Jericho
catches him
under, looking for the crucifix bomb.
Plants it.
1, 2, no.
Wow.
A lot of impact on that crucifix bomb. He thought he got the win. Bandido, a lot of our live audience here in Philadelphia thought the same thing. Man, it was close.
And Taz, you've been in the ring in these situations. You got to shake it off here. Bandido's got to focus on the finish line.
You got to suck it up and just keep on going. Correct, Ian, and don't worry about the call, missed or not. You got to stay on your opponent.
He may be looking for the X knee here, Excalibur. He's setting him up for it.
And Chris Jericho, Jericho
gets blocked.
He caught the knee. The legs of Bandido swept out, and Jericho sits down,
cinched in.
The walls of Jericho, center of the ring.
Bandido saying, no. How the heck's this young man going to get out of this?
With this strength, Taz, that's his only hope at this point. He's got to push up, and he's got to dig deep. He's got to find something and find the ropes.
What he's got to do is turn his right hip towards Jericho's ankle to alleviate some of this pressure on his low back.
But there is nobody in the world that can execute the walls like Chris Jericho. He is punishing the spine of Bandido, and Bandido digging in, trying to make that desperate crawl to the ropes.
Oh, showing that strength that you talked about earlier, Ian, how powerful of a young man he is, pound for pound wise.
And the heart too, Taz. I have not known Bandido to give up. I do not believe he'd ever been submitted in Ring of Honor action. And he's not going to give up at this moment as he gets to the ropes.
And you hear a great reaction from the crowd on hand here in Philadelphia. Jericho thinks he won.
I think he thinks Bandido tapped out. Referee Aubrey Edwards saying, that's not the way this is going down here, Chris.
Bandido still alive in this Ring of Honor World Championship match.
And I'm shocked right now. Jericho has fought an amazingly clean bout. There's been a back and forth contest between challenger and champion. I'm impressed. He's fighting in an honorable way right now as he looks to suplex Bandido and he gets him.
Using the leverage of the bottom rope, Jericho bringing in Bandido the hard way. And now Chris Jericho maybe hearkening back to his days as Lionheart in Mexico City as he climbs to the ropes, but Bandido comes in the rising Gamangiri.
Wow, really popped Jericho in the mush right there. Oof.
And you see Bandido slow to pull himself up, the fatigue setting in. I mean, not only are these two men exerting themselves physically, Bandido with that possibly broken nose underneath that mask.
You got the Ring of Honor World Championship right here, an opportunity for Bandido to get it in Philly against one of the greatest of all time, and Chris Jericho.
Oh,
look at this, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
What the hell?
I've seen this before.
Bandido!
Amazing.
Flawless execution at this stage of the match.
Cover him, guy.
We got a new champion, Bandido.
You got to cover him.
He makes the crawl to no!
That's what you call a champion, guys. That's a guy in Jericho who's been through hell and back for decades to have the toughness to kick out of this.
Wow. The moonsault Fall-away style slam off the top.
You know, I've always wanted to do that move in my brain. Just never tried it. And I never would have. In my head, I thought it worked. But this guy just did it. That was awesome.
He's like a video game character. It's like he's using cheat codes every time he's out here, and the crowd rallying behind him right now, Excalibur.
Yeah, Tendido como Bandido as he hoists up Jericho.
Looking for the X-knee again.
The X-knee. Bandido rolls
Got it!
Jericho
He
off
got
his
it!
shoulder.
Oh, my God. Jericho's out here.
Oh, wait a second.
And the dealer
Bandido
shows an ace.
Whoa.
coming
What's the turn?
back. 21 plex. The bridge to
Oh, my
champion.
God.
No, again.
Bandido's so damn close right there.
Unbelievable heart shown by Chris Jericho in that moment.
You can see under that mask, that one shot of his eye, of Bandido's eye. He's like, what the hell is this dude made of?
But he's learning from earlier in the match.
He just poked him in the eye.
What?
And now he yanked the mask down over the eyes.
Oh, come on.
Bandito can't even see. And
he got it.
Inside cradle. 2 and
Well, not much honor in that, but Jericho's trying to win this damn match.
The high boot by Jericho. He sweeps out the legs. And now
the high angle.
the Lion Tamer,
Tamer.
is cinched in. Bandito, he can't even see. He can't see where he is. He's so close to the ropes.
He might not even know.
Forget about his breathing, guys. He's tapping. Had no choice.
The winner of this match by
Bandido was with Jericho motioning at Bobby Cruz, but Bandido, that is heartbreaking. He was just less than 6 inches away from the ropes to get the break.
And all you can do is try and hit him with your best shot.
the winner of this match by submission and still Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho.
Well, you can hear the disdain in Bobby Cruz's voice.
Cut the music. The Ring of Jericho era has begun. I'm changing what Ring of Honor is. I'm going to desecrate its legacy. I'm going to destroy its legend. I'm going to beat every great champion that's ever held the Ring of Jericho title. And I'm going to continue with Bryan Danielson. October 12th, in my home country of Toronto, I challenge you to the Ring of Honor World Title Championship. I'm going to destroy every Ring of Honor champion, destroy every Ring of Honor commentator, every Ring of Honor referee, and every Ring of Honor ring announcer.
What?
Whoa, wait.
Jericho just
come on.
Low blow. Bobby Cruz.
come on.
This is
The hell, Chris?
disgusting. Chris Jericho, an absolutely horrifying display to cap off Dynamite here tonight. This is disgusting by Jericho. Can't believe this.